Welcome to the Glee Garden Angels. My name is George Bullivant from Garden Forum. Those of you who don't know, Garden Forum, we're an online trade newspaper for the garden industry. And the idea behind the Garden Angels is that walk around Glee and you will see a range, lots and lots of new products and new ideas. But actually, how many of those actually make it to becoming a commercial success? The answer, sadly, is usually not very many. Why? Ask the people who've invested in these products and brought these products to Glee, and they'll say, it's jolly difficult to get into the garden centres. The garden centres won't look at it, or they don't support it, or whatever. In reality, quite often, it's because people don't really understand the way that garden retailers work and the way the garden industry works. So the Garden Angels, and I'll introduce you to the Garden Angels in a minute, are experts who can advise over the next 3 days, 6 companies who have all brought new products to Glee, which they hope will become huge commercial successes in the next year. The first 2 companies that we've got today are the Water Guardian and Squirrel Ban. Now, this is a competition, so at the end, we will be asking the Angels to score each of the products on A, whether the product is potentially a success, and B, how good the business plan is the company has to bring this product to market. But in reality, everybody's a winner because they're going to get invaluable advice from the Angels. And it's advice I'm sure a lot of you sitting in the audience will also find very, very useful. We've got the 2 companies, and then after that, there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions. There'll be a roving mic for you to ask questions of the Angels. So without further ado, let us meet our Angels. So in the middle, we have Sue Allen, who last year retired as MD of the Millbrook Garden Company, a chain of garden centres in the southeast of England that she founded with her husband, Dick. She's very much still involved with the industry. She is president of the International Garden Centres Association, and you might well see her in the halls today setting up the Green Relief Day, which is something you should all know about to get everybody gardening next year. Nearest you is Paris Nattar, probably needs no introduction to most of you, the founder of Gardman, a company whose sales now exceed 70 million. And I think the thing he's probably most proud of is that Gardman was voted by the retailers for 8 successive years as the best supplier. And then our third angel, Boyd, has very much been in the news recently, Boyd Douglas Davis. He's the CEO of a new company that's just been formed, the Hillview Garden Centres, who are set out to be the next garden centre chain, and bought their first garden centre on Friday. They completed the deal in Redditch, and it's now called Studley Garden Centre. Is that right, Studley or Studley?
Correct. Studley.
Studley. Our Angels. So let us meet our first company, this is the Water Guardian, and the Water Guardian is a new patented device for watering hanging baskets and grow bags. Now, you will see many of the new products share the same sort of aim to water products when people to water grow bags and hanging baskets, but this one is different. It's unique. It has no moving parts and no narrow lines to get blocked. And I'd like to invite Kevin Rickard to come and take the plinth. Kevin, welcome.
Hello, George.
And perhaps you'd like to start off by telling us exactly what the Water Guardian is.
The Water Guardian is a unique watering system that waters plants through an unrestricted outlet, making it impossible to get blocked. It requires no secondary fixing, and also you can insert Tomorite phosphorgens inside, so every drip that comes out has got a diluted amount of nutrients.
And I think you've got one here to show
Yes.
us, haven't you?
I just got a little leaflet here I'd like to give each one of you. One of the biggest drawbacks with the water gardening is actually this. This is your hanging basket bracket. You actually have to lift it up and put it on. But apart from that, it's end of story. And what you do in this situation, you put the Water Guardian where the hanging basket clips, and then you hang your hanging basket. So the floral is up here. This nozzle is designed to fill it sideways, underneath, or sideways. It takes 20 seconds to fill through here, and once it's full, it takes 7 days to empty through the same inlet. The inlet is 8 millimeters in diameter, so it can't get blocked. It has no moving parts, and because of the water, the way it drips, whatever the air temperature outside is the water temperature inside, thus preventing plants from being shocked by putting cold water on them. And also, each drip, because it's a one drip every 9 seconds, it actually allows oxygen to maintain in the root system, which is vital for healthy plant life.
And Kevin, tell us, how long has it been on the market?
Well, we're actually launching it in Glee today.
And is it already in manufacture?
We're ready to manufacture. We've started manufacturing, and we can manufacture up to 1,000 a day.
And what are the particular questions that you would like the angels to answer?
There's quite a few, actually. One of the biggest ones that sticks in my mind is I'm very nervous about selling 10,000 units and only getting paid for one. The credit crisis. I mean, how would I deal with big companies now, or any company, regarding payment?
I think that gives us a nice flavour to start with. I think it's just worth saying that you're hoping that in 2012 you're going to sell about £350,000 worth of this product. So that's a nice little target for the angels to focus on. I don't know who's going to take the lead. Paris.
Kevin, my understanding is that you've had this product or a derivative of it somehow or another on the market for 20 years.
No, sorry.
No?
No.
Because the patent was taken out 20 years ago?
About 16 years ago.
16 years ago, is it?
Well, what it was, Paris, young children having enough courage to invest myself, and now my children are grown up, and my son's actually in business with me. I'm actually spending his inheritance.
Right.
So he's got it all to go for.
So it's never been sold before in any shape or form?
Not like this, no.
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 Okay.
What do you consider the recommended retail price would be?
We consider $29.99.
Right, and have you thought about packaging? How would it be packaged?
Well, at the moment, this would be what we're intending to do is the brochure I gave you is going to, because it's an environmental friendly product made from recycled plastic, we're going to use the box with the fitting instructions, the filling instructions, and everything on the outside of the box. So there's no internal packaging at all. It's made from a durable, high quality injection molding, which is the most expensive way you can go to market, but it is a real Rolls-Royce product. It will last 1,000 years, it really will.
Have you looked at the size of the market for this? Because is there many hanging brackets out there, and how many houses have multiple brackets? So at £20, if I've got 5 brackets, it's a £100 watering system.
Yes.
And therefore you're in a different market. Have you done the research on the number potential for that?
We have. On growing, we've had some displays going on in England, and we're trying to pick people with no interest in gardening too busy. And one of the first people we've got, he's actually growing tomatoes. So, because obviously this is designed for a grow bag or a garden container or a newly planted tree. This is a stand which is extra. Now, what we done, we gave him one of these products, and he bought 3 tomato plants and put in a grow bag, and he bought a tumbler hanging basket, and he put it on this. Within 2 weeks, his hanging baskets were dead. He's picking lovely tomatoes, and he says he's looking forward to next year to get another 2 off us.
And have you looked into how many people there are in the UK that have brackets? What's the actual potential sales volume?
The potential is actually in the millions. There's 30 million UK houses, and we said 1% had 2 hanging basket brackets. And then we've realised, when I developed this was for hanging baskets, but I've actually realised now it's going to outstrip in the vegetable side, grow bags and garden containers. And a 5-year-old child now, just by filling this for 20 seconds a week, can grow tomatoes as good as any professional. So I think the vegetable side, the grow bag side, will actually outweigh the hanging basket side in the future. I mean, the grow bag manufacturers will tell you the biggest problem with their product is watering. Too much, too little.
Kevin, can I ask, the nozzle that you use to refill it, is that part of the kit?
Yes, it is.
So the $29.99 includes the bottle and the spray nozzle that you attach to your hose end?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, so what you do, when you buy the kit form, you get this inside that.
No, I mean the actual hose fitting.
No. This is a standard off-the-shelf, everyday hose fitting. Yeah. And it's got, this is a threaded one, and we've also got a pushing one.
Yeah. I can tell you, give you some feedback about hanging baskets generally, because I used to sell quite a few at my last company. The problem, which has been alluded to by Boyd, is that $29.99 is not going to get you very far. That's my main concern. I do have a secondary concern, but the $29.99 price point, you're not going to shift a lot of units, especially because this is a multi-buy product. Mm-hmm. I had a product not dissimilar to that called a high-low, which is a little raising and lowering device to lower baskets for easy watering. And I used to sell probably 40 or 50,000 of those every year, but they were typically priced at between $4.99 and $5.99, and that is as soon as you go above the $9.99, you'll find the volumes dip quite substantially.
Can I answer that, Paris? Do you mind?
No, please. Yeah.
Well, we see, with this system here, it takes 20 seconds a week to fill and only uses 4 litres of water. So when you can...
It's a big labour-saving device, obviously, yeah.
And also, an average hose pipe uses 20 litres of water a minute. Yeah. So if this was throughout the gardening world, it would literally save millions and millions of gallons of fresh water. And because it's got an unrestricted outlet, you can actually fill it with recycled water, literally water from a puddle.
Yeah.
I like the concept of using it for vegetables and grow bags. I could really see that working. It does concern me, if you've got a pretty hanging basket, how that fits in aesthetically, and also how it doesn't obstruct the actual shape and the spread of the hanging basket.
Right.
And I'd like to sort of see it with a hanging basket plonked in front of it, really.
Well, you must come to my stall. The average hanging basket hangs here, and the base will be here. Depending on the flora, if you have fuchsias, geraniums, you're talking here. If we're talking the typical height of a hanging basket, there, the flora is actually virtually covering it. We've done a survey in Morani, in the west of Ireland, where we live, and they opened a tourist office, beautiful white tourist office, and I actually got 4 of these. I got a white one, a green one, a black one, and a clear one, and I put them on 4 hanging basket brackets with 4 baskets. Not one person noticed the product. They all spotted the basket. Your eyes are drawn to the basket rather than a dead basket. You've got a healthy basket.
When you're talking about the basket, assuming the basket doesn't look wrong with that, doesn't the plant start getting in the way? So you're trying to reach up and attach your connector to that connector.
Yes.
But surely the plant must at least be at the bottom of that, hiding all that area. So it's going to be a right faff, isn't it?
I just don't follow, sorry.
To actually connect the hose pipe to that tap seems to me
Well,
the plants are just going to be in the way.
No, not at all. This is your bottom hanging basket. This is designed to fill from the side, from there. You just literally push it on like this. You fill it, it takes 20 seconds. When it's full, water discharges from here. You literally let that stop moving, take that away, and that continues to drip.
Can I just go, excuse me, Peter Jones moment coming up. But
I like Peter Jones.
now you try and connect it up. But the basket's in the way.
Wait, no, hold up, Ian. Hold up, Peter. There, stop. Who's shaking? That's me.
Yeah, look, he's
You're
all
shaking.
nervous.
I'm shaking because I'm nervous. But look, this is where we are.
Okay.
Hanging basket is there.
I think your plants are in the way, but there we go.
Well-
How much is that bit while I'm going to sit back down as well? How much is the stand?
That's only for display.
Angels, I wonder whether, time's already running out for us. From a retail perspective, what will Kevin need to do to get this product selling through garden centres? We've looked at price already. What else is going to need to be done to really see this walking off the shop floor?
I think the packaging of it is very important.
Yeah, we realise that.
I don't obviously can see that you're not ready yet with your packaging, and I also think obviously point of sale is extremely important. So I think you're going to struggle with it, even if in its current format, because it is just a single product, and generally speaking, retailers. It's too complicated to buy one item from one supplier. So if I were you, I'd try and engineer the cost down, get the retail right, and find yourself a partner to help you get good distribution with it. But, I think a number of very good points have been raised
Thank you,
by Sue and by Boyd. So, I think those are the two main things.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think that your biggest problem is going to be to get the message over to the customer what it does.
Yes.
And you can't necessarily always do that just on the packaging.
No.
And that's happened so many times in the past with some really super products, but because the customer can't visualise what it does, that's where it falls down.
Yeah, and may I just say, Susan, every time I fill one of those and go away for 7 days and come back, I'm amazed how well everything is working, It really does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. That's going to be a big problem for me.
I think you've got to be clear on the benefits, because I don't think people will go for it on the save the planet, save the environment, the hose pipe and the lack of water and things, because if that was true, we'd all drive Toyota Prius, and we don't. So I think the customer doesn't get that bit at the moment. So I think the message has to be very clear about the quality of the product, the plants at the end, and the merchandising unit has got to be put in store, and that's going to cost you money, and if it's going to retail, it's got to be under £10.
The problem is £10 a gimmick, and that's not a gimmick. And also, my experience with retail, which is nothing compared to yours, people wouldn't buy that product for Mother's Day or Father's Day. That's £10. They'd want to spend a bit more on their mum or dad, So, sorry about that.
Can I pick up on a question that Paris has just raised, which is about your selling and your distribution? How at the moment are you proposing to sell the product to garden centres? How are you approaching them? How are you getting through the front door with garden centres?
Well, personally, at the moment, what we've done in Ireland, where we live, the wettest country in the world, and we've got an interest in the products. We've actually had a couple of Irish garden centres approach us today. We've done some foot-to-foot on the ground, and they're all expressed an interest. Retail, $29 or $29.99 problem, but it is a Rolls-Royce product. That is made to last for years and years and years. So it's got to be paid for.
Yeah, but I think you'll find, Kevin, that there's plenty of products that are sub £10 or even sub £5 that are quality products that are made to last. So, I think the key thing is you've got to get the right balance between volume and quality. And at the moment, I think, you know, you're not at the right area of volume. You know, it's going to be a very low volume item, and I think your projection of volume at that price is completely unachievable.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I hope to prove you wrong, but I appreciate it.
I hope I'm wrong too,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah.
Are there, and asking the Angels this, are there any other markets that Kevin should be looking at as well as garden centres?
Pub chains.
Yeah, good point.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of it. And also, nurseries have been interested as doing the package for a for a hanging basket and one of those.
Yeah. Good idea. I picked up on Boyd's point about you know, describing it. I'm not sure that the name Water Guardian does it any favours, because whilst it's politically correct in this country to talk about saving water, when it comes to, you know, watering hanging baskets, you know, it's, you know, people just want to save time and effort. So if you could solve that problem, you know, it's the ease of doing it that's the holy grail, really. You know, and so having a different name that describes that better than saying Water Guardian, I don't know, like Drip-O-Matic or Easy Basket or something like that, would perhaps shout at the consumer a bit more readily.
Yeah, that's something I played around with for months, you know. But can I just say that we must bear in mind 20 seconds a week to maintain a hanging basket. Guaranteed. No moving parts, no electrical fittings, no water fittings.
Yeah,
one off.
Plus.
You know, so I'd just like to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I know, Kevin, you've had quite a lot of interest on your stand, so
We have, yeah.
which is very encouraging. Time now, Angels, for you to employ your high-tech scoring machine here.
Can I leave?
No, the Angels are going to give us 2 scores, and this is Michelle from Garden Forum, who is going to kindly help me add them up and then put them on our high-tech scoreboard. The first score, which I'll ask the Angels to say briefly why they're scoring what they're scoring, and then to hold up a card, is for the product and whether they think the product will be successful. And then secondly will be for whether the way that Kevin is currently thinking of marketing it, whether they think the business will become the next £1 million garden centre business, whether as it stands it's going to be successful. So who's going to start? Paris, are you going to start? This is for the product.
Yeah, well, for the product itself, I think it's going to be a limited market, mainly because it's quite a bulky item. You know, I think the aesthetic point that Sue raised is not something that will appeal to a lot of people. So I think it's, you know, you will get some sales, but I don't think it's going to be mega sales. And so I'm going to give it a 3. Okay.
Sue.
I still think that if it's going to go anywhere, it's going to be with vegetables. I really think in lots of ways the hanging basket market is going down, but if you could really push it that it's for vegetables, then it doesn't matter if it looks like a plastic box. So I'll give it a 4.
Going up 4 from Sue. Boyd.
I'm sorry, I don't see that working, and I just don't see garden centres putting it into the centres in the first place. So whether the consumer gets it or not, I haven't got the confidence at the moment that as a product is something I'd want to list in the garden centre ranging, when there's so many other simple and cost-effective ways to water a hanging basket. So I'm giving it a 2.
2. So I think on the first score, does that give us 9? Thanks, Michelle. We agree. Now, we perhaps didn't get all the points, but your manufacturing, you've invested very heavily, and you've made the tooling to manufacture this, and this is being manufactured in Ireland. Yes. Can I ask now the Angels if you'll score on whether you think this as a business, as it's currently set up, is likely to be successful? Your score for that?
You know, perhaps I'm being a bit too critical, but you know, I do feel that you could have been a bit further. If you're really serious about getting into the market, you should have been more advanced with your packaging and your point of sale. but also fundamentally, I think the 29 price point, 99 price point is a bit of a killer.
Can I
So,
just...
yeah, of course you can, yeah. I'm
Well,
just trying to give you the reasons why I'm not
Yeah.
going to score you highly.
Yeah.
But, but please give me some feedback
I was
in
just
case
gonna-
it adds a bit or
Yeah,
takes away a bit.
I was just going to say, we're actually selling it into the garden centres for 16. So
You're selling it in?
for 16
Yeah.
pounds.
Well, that's another reason why it won't sell, because garden centres don't like to work on such tight margins.
Okay.
So it needs to be, if really you're going to stick to 29.99, it wants to be somewhere around 11 or 12 pounds plus the VAT.
Your score, Paris?
I'm afraid I'm going to score it similarly in terms of the current activity at 3.
3.
Yeah.
Sue?
Yeah, I think that you still need to do a lot of work on how you would propose to distribute it. I don't think you could just do it direct into garden centres. You've got to perhaps find someone who will market it, I don't know, through mail order or something where people don't mind spending the money.
Can I just
yeah.
say that's actually what we're actually doing?
Right, good. Well, keep it up and I'll give you a 3.
I think a lot's been said, but I think the tact you're going at the moment is just wrong. And I think you need to go right back to the beginning and think about that commercial sort of product, because it's commercial pricing, it's not a retail product, and I don't think it'll sell in the retail environment. So I'm a 1 on the business, I'm afraid.
Well, you're up a Christmas list.
So the total score is 16. Kevin, you've got lots of leads. I think you've actually got some very useful advice there, which is, there are some markets, nurseries, and I know you've already looked at nurseries, pub chains, etc., and the mail order, but maybe not the garden centre line might be a more difficult route to go down. But thank you very much for being our guinea pig for Glee this year. And
Lambs to the slaughter. And thank you very much as well.
Well done.
Bye-bye.
can I just remind you that after our next company, who I'll introduce in a second, there is the opportunity for you to ask questions of the angels about any of the advice that they've given or anything else that you might like to ask them just for 10 minutes. So without further ado, can I introduce you to our second company, which is Squirrel Ban, and Stephen Vincent is going to tell us about a bird food which squirrels will not eat. Stephen, welcome, and just tell us, why won't squirrels eat your bird food?
This is a premium birdseed mix that's been treated with a product called Chili Miga, which is a natural oil-based product that actually also includes some chili, which will distract the squirrels. The squirrels won't eat it, but the birds can't detect it.
And I believe you developed it on your mother's bird table.
Yeah. The reason it all started is my mother has a house that backs onto the woods, constantly raided by squirrels, and she's always been on at me to do something, as if I could. We've tried various concoctions, and then onto the squirrel-proof feeders. Some work, some don't. Some the birds won't go in, possibly because the holes are too small. The others, when the holes are too big, the squirrels get in. Such that I've had panic phone calls from my mother. Stephen, come round quick, there's a squirrel trapped in the feeder. I have to say, Mum, it'll get out, don't worry. No, go round, he's trapped in there. And she's virtually given up feeding birds because of it.
And how long have you been selling it? Has it actually been on the market yet?
It goes on the market today.
Today?
Today, yes. So we've literally launching, actually.
I thought you'd had a trial in a garden centre somewhere.
No.
Right.
No
Okay.
trials. No trials or any sales. Literally, these are the first ones off the production line.
And I understand that you're hoping for a turnover of sort of 250,000 in your first year. Where is it being manufactured?
It's been manufactured in the UK. We produce the chili miga, and contract packers are producing it for us.
Wonderful. I think that gives us a flavour. Angels, over to you.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the packaging, I have to say,
Thank you.
straight away. The thing that concerns me is how do you propose to distribute it?
This is the thing that concerns me, and that's what I wanted to ask you. Basically, we think we've got a brilliant product. It's designed to retail at $7.99, which we think, although it's top end, it's a premium product, and one of the savings is the fact that you use so much less, and another is the fact that you don't get the broken feeders. We have to get that message out there. I want to sell to garden centres, which I would plan to sell direct. I wish to sell to pet distributors by trying to find pet food wholesalers who will be able to sell a case at a time into the pet food. I hope to pick up mail order business from being here at Glee. The only thing that worries me is the demand from the customers. How do I then translate getting the product into the garden centres to getting the product going out the door?
Can I carry on for a minute? That's what concerns me, because as Paris will know, and all you garden centre people will know, that our customers love buying bird food. And, you know, after a busy weekend, you can be absolutely empty of stock.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to restock again quickly with your bird food, you have got to have a source which is geared up exactly for that. We all rely on a big company who does all the peanuts and the feeders and you name it, they do it. And they are geared up to actually supply it quickly. And it concerns me that with just being one product, that you wouldn't be able to fulfill that.
I would think I would be able to fulfill it. The point is, it's a niche market. It's not going to be taking on Gardman. It's going to sit alongside Gardman, and obviously the volume isn't going to be the same, but it's satisfying a need. It's getting people who are exasperated with the squirrels, or people who have given up feeding the birds because of the squirrels, a chance to try it again. And one of the things that, if we wish to get the message across, is you can actually use it as a deterrent. If you start to feed with this, after about 3 weeks, you will be squirrel-free. Now, you may find, like my mother's house, that there's many squirrels that visit, and we almost get to know them personally with a little difference in the colouring. But eventually, after about 3 weeks, the squirrels will actually leave it alone. You can have the feeder, and you can put any food in it, and they won't go there because they've been conditioned to believe that this is not good. And then after a few months, an adventurous one tries it again, and you have to go back through the cycle.
Kevin, one of the things...
Stephen.
Stephen, beg your pardon. Kevin was the last gentleman. I do apologise. Stephen, one of the things that concerns me on this is the price. For 1.5 kilos, $7.99. I mean, you're up against some pretty good blends that have been approved by the likes of the British Trust for Ornithology, RSPB, etc., that get promoted at sort of $2.99, $3.99 max.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know what you're saying is that yours will stop squirrels eating it, but are people that worried that they're going to spend another £4 on a pack of your bird feed? I can't see it myself. You know, it seems it's definitely a very, very premium product on that basis. Yeah. That was my first point. The second point I was going to make was, what's to stop people like Gardman and others copying you? Because your coating is just an oil, isn't it? It's an oil additive that's got the chili miga in it, mm-hmm. that gets mixed in with it. And, anybody can get a chili-based oil and add that to seed. So if it was, what's so unique is what I'm saying about your product.
Anybody can't get a chili-based oil and add it to seed because we've patented the idea, the method, the formula, the mixture. Right, it's all been patented.
Well,
and we've gone through a professional patent company who are so confident with their patent that they're prepared to defend it on a no-fee, no-win basis.
So the Chili Miga, it's a chili-based oil,
yes.
but you've patented the
Yes.
application of it
Application.
in bird food or
That's
pet
right.
food
That's
generally.
Right. Yes, right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and just tell me about the price. How easy would it be to get it down to a more competitive level?
We had to go for a premium seed mix. The reason being we didn't want to go through all this and have a cheap seed mix that the birds weren't so pleased about, and then the customers would say, great, but the birds don't like it. So we had to go for a premium seed mix. Our trade price at the show is $3.55. So we need that trade price on this product. If it takes off, then we can introduce a lower cost version and different seed blends. But at the moment, we're just going for the one single premium seed blend. And the other thing we're looking to do, obviously, is make bigger packs to get to the VAT break, again, to make it more price conscious.
The name, Squirrel Ban, not really a great bird food name, is it? It's not going to sit on the shelf and tell me it's bird food. It might end up, one of my lads might unload it off your van and put it in the pest deterrent area rather than the bird care shop.
That's why we've got bird feeders on there. We're not trying to effectively compete with bird food. We're offering an alternative. So we're not trying to go head to head against all the bird food varieties and say buy this instead. This is for people who have a squirrel problem. And that's not everybody, by any means, but it is quite a few.
Would it be better to give up what you're doing right now and sell the patent to Gardman or to Chapelwood and let them mix it in their bird food, and then you make a nice royalty forever?
Always open to offers.
I think that's probably where I'd go with it.
But we need to prove it works and that customers will buy it first. That's where we're coming from. And yes, if I'm approached, then I would be more than happy to talk to anyone, because I know it is not going to be easy to get this into all the garden centres, and somebody like Solus would be able to. But you can't go to Solus with, well, maybe you can, but I didn't think to go to Solus with just an idea. I need to prove it, which is what I want to do.
I noticed that, I think somewhere in here you said that this is an idea that had been tried in America, but hadn't been successful.
That's right.
Now, I wondered if there's a message in there somewhere for you.
No, it's not successful as a product, at producing the product. I mean,
right.
the methods they've used make it difficult and expensive to produce. What we've done is we've come up with a production method that brings it more sensibly down in price and is feasible to do. And one of the American methods involves heating it, and heating it and using alcohol, which, firstly, I don't think it's a good idea to give the birds alcohol, and on a commercial basis...
They might disagree with you.
On a commercial basis, the heating of the product is just very difficult.
Okay. The other thing I'd just say from my experience in bird feeding is, I think there is a little bit of a sort of people aren't necessarily against having squirrels in their. I know some people are against having squirrels in their garden, but they don't see that as being a major problem. And from the retailer's point of view, selling as much bird food as possible is actually quite a good thing. Whether some of the food is taken by squirrels or whether some of the food is taken by wood pigeons or even crows, the food goes, people go out and they buy some more. So, so
we're back to
in terms of the concept, I'm not sure if people are that bothered about spending $7.99 on a relatively small bag of bird food that is just designed to stop squirrels coming and getting a few morsels.
Right. What we've said on there is that this lasts up to 4 times longer than ordinary bird food at sites regularly visited by squirrels.
Yeah.
We've tested this, because squirrels can turn up and eat half a feeder. Now, we know it's not for everyone. And back to what I'm saying, we're not trying to compete with everyone. And some people are perfectly happy to feed the squirrels. You can, with this, still feed squirrels separately. You can feed this in one part of the garden, but ordinary feeders in another part of the garden, and the squirrels will feed from that.
So you're saying it's a niche product
Very much so.
for a niche application.
And there are people, plenty of people, who will not feed the birds because of the squirrels.
Yeah.
And those are the people that we're trying to attract, the people who do have the problem. And as I say, it's a small percentage, but as you well know, it's a big market, and we believe there's room for this in it.
Angels, where time as ever is ticking by, but I wonder, is it just worth spending a few minutes as to how the product is sold into the garden market, what channels and how he's approaching? Are you selling the product yourself?
At the moment, we're selling the product ourselves. We're offering it for sale. We have 5 tons in production. And the way orders have gone this morning, that's not going to be enough. But we have another 10 tons coming shortly. But the method we're going to employ at this stage is taking on sales agents. We're from the south coast, we can cover the area, but I wish to take on sales agents to call on garden centres. And what we're offering is a 6-outer deal, £250. And I believe that for a lot of independent garden centres will be a price point where a lot of known sales agents will be able to pick up a £250 order for the product.
Do you want to comment on the route to market? I mean, Sue, you were talking about a distributor through sales agents. What's the best way of getting this product into garden centres?
I think it's got to go to a wholesaler, because I think £250 on a product that may not sell against all the other bird foods. I think I've got a lot of other things I put my £250 into. If a wholesaler came to me and said, try a couple of boxes or try a box, you might look at it. But I think that would be I'd rather sacrifice some of your margin. You ought to look at that and let the wholesaler do it if you're going to keep going at garden centres. But I would give up at garden centres and go and talk to QVC maybe and see if you can get them to sell it. I think it'd be very hard to sell that into a garden centre at the moment.
Yeah, I think the other problem you're going to face is if you go into a garden centre, they don't just stock a very wide range of bird food and bird feeders and accessories. They often sell 2 or 3 ranges of those. Mm-hmm. So they're literally hundreds of SKUs. You've got one product there that's going to get lost in the massive range that's available. So the issue is how you're going to make that product jump out from that vast array of other products to make it sort of get noticed by a relatively short attention span on the part of the consumer. And I would suggest, I didn't see this on your booth, but I would suggest you might look at developing some really strong point of sale.
Yeah, we've
got to do that. Freestanding unit that's easily replenishable.
We've got a sales unit there.
Yeah.
One of the other things, of course, is this could build into a range that would take up more shelf space, which would get it noticed.
Yeah. But also, I think, whilst I agree with Sue that your packaging is very good, the one mistake I think you've made is you went for a green instead of a red. I think a red would have made it more of a signal red, would make it just stand out a little bit more. But other than that, I think your packaging is very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Just before we wind up, can I just pick up, Boyd, on your last question? You said you don't see it as a garden centre product. Is that because of the product or because it's being sold by a single product company and it's going to be difficult?
I think it's a single product in a very busy market. Although I've just seen your advert for this. Mm-hmm. You have the squirrel doing the Mission Impossible advert and he gets all the way to the end and then he goes, oh no, it's Squirrel Ban, and he runs off. So if you're going to keep on going, get that advert sorted.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you.
Angels, now is the Sue.
Can I just come in with a point now, which is, I'm sorry, you're the poor guy who's going to get it in the ear about this, but it's a general comment. I spent a happy hour yesterday afternoon looking at websites, including yours with the squirrel doing his tricks and everything. And if my daughter was here, she would raise her eyebrows and think, oh, here goes mother again. But this is a general plea to people with websites about proofreading. And you're a very lucky man. Yours was the first one I looked at, and I proofread and marked it for you. And there are far too many mistakes on that website to give potential customers confidence. you were by no means the worst, I have to say. You just happened to be the first. So I have proofread your website for you. And we'll give that to you as a gift.
Thank you.
To get it put right. But it is a plea, because I just thought, once I'd read the first few lines, I thought, now, come on, guys, if this is professional, it needs to read properly. And as I say, you weren't the worst.
The website
but you were the first.
is an area that we've not spent a lot of attention on, because we've been concentrating on getting the product there. But yes, it's an area that's going to get some more attention.
Sends the wrong message. Sorry, I had to get that bit
And
in.
the problem with websites nowadays is, whilst we are paying an English company to produce them, they go and make them in India.
Yeah, but that doesn't...
Yes.
Well, you'll see where I've shown
Yes.
them. Nothing
Yes.
to do with whether it's in England or Timbuktu. You'll see.
Okay.
Well,
Excellent.
I think that's a very important point, because you only have to see one spelling mistake, as we know to our cost, and it puts people off. Time now, Angels, to revert to your high-tech scoring system, and perhaps we'll start with Boyd this time. First of all, looking at the product, whether you think as a product this could be successful.
I think the product in the bag is a potentially very good product, and I think the application of it into another manufacturer's bird food, adding it to something else, could be fantastic for you. And I think you could sell an awful lot of that product in that market. So I go 6.
Good.
Sue?
Yeah, well, actually, we're great minds think alike. I agree. I think it could be a very good product, and I'll give it a 6 as well.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think it's as long as we all understand it's a niche product, which is what you're aiming it to be. So you're being very realistic. So I think it is a good product. It should sell. Reservations about the price, but that's how you're doing it, which is really the next mark. But you know, I would just say that I think the consumer's focus on squirrel deterrence is more on feeders rather than on feed. And I think, you know, getting people to change the way they think about squirrels to focusing on the food might be a difficult one. So I'm afraid I'm not going to score quite as highly as Sue or Boyd, but I'm going to give you a 5.
So is that 17, Michelle? We agree. Excellent. Now, I think from what you were saying, Stephen, the plan is for you to take it to market, prove there's a demand for it, and then perhaps sell the business on to a distributor, set it up as a distributor or something like that.
It could well be.
Yeah.
It's not a plan cast in concrete or anything, but it's definitely an option.
It's a strategy. Boyd, would you like to score the strategy of the chance of this being a successful business?
And before you do your score, we've already been approached by Ideal World Shopping Channel. so yes.
There we go. I think if you continue pursuing the garden centres and distributing it directly to them, I think the business will struggle. I think on that basis I'll give you a 3, but I think if you change your route to market, then you've got some big potential for the business in the future.
Sue?
Yeah, Boyd's pinching all the best lines. I agree with everything you said, but I'm going to give you 1 extra, and I'll give you a 4.
Paris?
Single product company, difficult to get out there, high retail price. You know, it's going to be hard to get agency coverage and distribution. Logistically, it's not going to be very efficient. But, you know, I'll give a 4 as well. Okay.
So
Right.
score 11 and 16 before, so is that 27? Oh no, 17 before, 28.
Okay.
Well, I think a big hand for Stephen. Well done
Lovely.
for braving the Angels.
Thank you very much.
And now, Angels, stay where you are. We've got 5 minutes left for if anybody would like to ask a question to the Angels. Is there a microphone somewhere? Right, we've got a microphone. Anybody who would like to quiz the Angels on anything they said this afternoon, or perhaps about anything else?
Oh.
Is that
Should we do 666?
any questions? Left everybody silent.
What has Sue got?
The opposite of angels.
In which case, I think we say It's the other way up, 999. I'm sure.
No, the opposite of angel is devil. You know, there's a significance here.
If there are no questions, I'd like to say, thank you all for coming and listening. I hope it's useful. We've got 2 more companies tomorrow. The first one is a very different idea of marketing to garden centres. So it's not a product, it is more a concept for selling into garden centres, a specialist product. And the second is a very different type of product which has already been successful in the niche market, and it's a sort of soil improver, but also banishes slugs. But it's a very different product to ones we might have seen today. So thank you very much for coming, and do come back again tomorrow. Thank you.